I love games. And I love them ever since I got this tiny display, which I put hundreds and hundreds of hours of at. But why? Because it's so engaging and fun, and ideally, it also teaches you something valuable, like sharing with your sister or how to problem solve. But unfortunately, life isn't a game. Or is it?
Holistic, gamified education. Holy game.
The more I think about it, the more reasons I see why life is a game. Because you can practice certain skills, and the more you train them, the better you get at them. And usually you get rewarded for accomplishing tasks in one way or another. And if you combine all those things, the only thing that is missing to, like, let's say, an RPG is the user interface that shows you have leveled up, or even the quests that you're currently on and you need to accomplish. So I've been looking for this kind of system for many, many years, and after failing to find it, I decided to build it myself. And the premise for this is rather easy. You just put all those things together, like how to set yourself targets, how to accomplish the tasks, and general this user interface, which kind of serves as an early version of Jarvis, if you think about it, and it enables you to make your whole life a game and level up in each of those areas that are most important to you. And today I would like to introduce this system. I've created multiple progression levels, and I will be introducing you 3 levels. So the basic level is just for the ones getting started, and then it becomes more complex but also more advanced and more valuable to you. Eventually you can take these as Lego pieces that you build on top of each other and remove however you want it, so it's really highly customizable. Level 1 and level 2 are down below in the description for you to download. I will also make sure that you know how to duplicate the base in order to make it just yours, and it's literally your data, no one else sees it, and you can add it around and play with it and build your own house, so to say. And without further ado, let's just see how that goes, alright? So here we have the Airtable base, and if you click down in the description on the link, you will have access to those 4 bases. And if you're just getting started, I recommend just going with level 1. It's the easiest, it's the least amount of Lego blocks, and also rather easy to get into. And then, like, as you progress, you can move to level 2. And eventually, at the moment, I'm like on this one, which you might consider level 3 or maybe even 4. I will like still work and improve on that and increase the efficiency and productivity on those. But I also wanted to show how you can copy those, because without copying them, you cannot actually edit within them. So if you press on this little arrow here, you can just select duplicate base, and you can select the workspace you want to duplicate it into, and then you keep the records and the comments, and then you just press duplicate, and it's your own. No one has access but yourself, and it is literally yours. Then I would suggest we just move on to level 1 and see how that has changed from the last video I made, and just going over it in general. So here we have the areas, and this is nothing new. I did add a progress bar, which I thought was pretty neat. And here we have, again, the total score of the points, and they are getting calculated through the targets and the tasks, which are linked to the targets and tasks up here. So these are different tables. We have 4 tables within the whole base. And if you are just getting started, there's also a base description, which you can check out, where I have explained everything in more detail, and you can just read it if you are lost or something. Also, here are more views that are also having a description, which you can check out. And also the columns have a description as well. So if you're not sure what the column is doing, you can just hover over it or actually click it. And if you want to edit something, you can do that too, of course. this is as much to the areas as I want to be saying. Then we can also move on to the targets already. And I created a few dummy targets here to just explain how the system works, especially how the impact levels are working and the scoring system. So you can just play around with that and see how many points you get. Also, you can have a side area, and the side area is worth half of the score. So these 100 points are getting transported to the areas. So we would be having 100 points in body and 50 points in family. And since family is also having 0 points, you can just double check that if you want, but I'm not going to go back because I don't want to confuse by going back and forth. So you will be seeing me going from left to right. What we will focus mostly today is this target because I've already selected a few tasks and it is literally the thing that I'm currently working on. So I found that to be really cool. Before I get into that, I just wanted to mention that I have here in the user select a few of my old targets, which you can check out and see if any of them work for you or just general how you like to access them or if you want to implement them or if you also just want to check out the system. So the targets that you will be using are marked here with user. And if you right click on here, you can select user and just write in your own name. And as you see, those are only your targets. And the same goes for 2021. So here we have all your targets, and here in 2021, we have all your targets within 2021. So pretty self-explanatory. Going back to the tasks though, and even though I already explained that in the last video a little bit, I just wanted to go over it very, very quickly. So here we have 5 tasks, which are all linked to the same target. And if I wanted to edit the target, I could just click on here and edit it within this form, you could say, within this form. And it's if you change it anywhere, it changes everywhere. And this is one of the coolest features that Airtable has to offer. And here we can select also areas. If, for example, we don't have a specific target, we want to link it. If we want to just go straight to areas and skip the targets, that is of course possible. The same goes with the side areas. Sometimes you have like an area and a side area and they don't really work together. So you have the options of adding both. And then we have a people column, which you can connect people with if you want to associate doing certain activities with others. So last thing to the tasks, we also have the thing called frequency here. And this is especially really helpful for habits. So if you have a weekly habit, you just select weekly and you don't have to worry about it. It will always pop up in your calendar, which you can be observing here. So here you have the calendar view, which I think is really cool because you can drag and drop the things and it's really good for organization and just planning ahead and also looking into your past. And the same thing I did with targets, I also did with tasks, because here I have a bunch of tasks set already, mostly my habits, which you can just see, oh, okay, this is how it works. At the moment, they don't have any date field, but you can just try those things out. And if you want this automation process where the targets are just recurring, so let's, for example, take family time and let's put it on today, right? And let's also check it because maybe we've already done that. And also let's compare this because it's quarterly, and let's say we did that here on yesterday. And here you can also add attachments. So if I click on here, you can see my newest version of the holistic guides, which I made a video about a couple months ago. So these things are always improving. And with the help of Airtable, I know at what rate I want to update them. So if we click here on automations, it is really easy. You just automations and then you tick it on, and now the automations will start running. So if we look at the calendar again, we have those two things here. And the automations only trigger when they're in the past, and we have to like trigger them again now. So let's try it with family time. If we move it to yesterday, here family time 2 has appeared. And the same thing goes for holistic guides. But since we have the rainbow thingy and the rainbow stands for quarterly, it should be appeared in here. So also with the 2, so we know like how often this has happened already. So this is a pretty cool thing. And again, here we have the present, which displays part like yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It's just a little bit, well, less full of information. And if you just want to know, okay, what do I have to do next? This is really helpful. So you can play around with the views a little bit and the calendar, but so far to the tasks. And again, if you have any questions, you can also just click on the little information button and they should explain it. Otherwise, you can also ask in the comments down below and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Now we have the people here though. And in the people, you put in people. That would probably be a better way to say that, but it's gone now. So here I was already so free and enter my own name. And if I were to do the table for me, I would select the area of self because and then you see this little icon appearing here in the name ID. And then there are like different groups. I just selected all the groups for myself now. And you can just select the groups for other people accordingly to sort or filter them. Then some occupation area, the mission. Well, I'm not going to read all of them. Especially cool, I find the birthday, and it calculates the current age, and also this overdue formula here, which takes a look at, okay, when was the last task I did with Lucas in this instant, and we can also check on it and then see, oh, okay, this was still in 2020, so yes, this is overdue. And by the way, you can check the formula. It looks a little bit complicated, but essentially what it says is, hey, if the priority is S, A, or B, and the interaction formula is, so it basically is longer than 45 days ago, then please write overdue. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Also this gallery view where you can see myself, and it's just really cool to learn people's names if you have a picture attached to them. So little hack here on the side. So that's level 1 for you. And as you see, it's already so much in there. And if you use that for a long time, you will probably still want more to that, more specificity. I hope this is a word. But what I mean with that is you want to go into more detail. And instead of just assigning one area, you want to be more specific, because life has more to offer than 10 areas. So I started to break down these 10 areas into 3 sub-areas each. And each sub-area has another 3 skills. So if we look at it, the whole concept, every area has 9 skills in total. And this makes it so much more specific. You can really tune down to what you're meaning. So this is one concept of level 2. Another is if you use this space for, let's say, multiple years, then it will grow too big to just be in one thing. So I created a layer that you can put over this, where you summarize all the data together that are important and relevant to you. So you can have this mother base and many child bases. And at the moment, level 1 just serves as a mother and child base. The more you grow, the more you probably will want to expand. And the third thing is connected with the birthdays. Like you already saw that in the people section there was like this little birthday, but wouldn't it be nice if you enter a birthday, it just happens to be a task. So this is exactly possible with level 2 and many more little details, but I will just show them to you instead of talking all day. So here we are at level 2, and as I already explained, this is just more specific. So we still have the 10 areas, but instead of just them being the 10 areas, we have the 9 skills and the 3 sub areas. And it just gives you just so much more organizational skills and allows you to be so much more specific. And especially if you've been using this organizational tool, the more you use it, the more you probably will want to be more specific, because you can just increase your analysis and become more accurate in that. And also it's really cool to see, oh, how long have I spent on strength, for example, which you have to track your time for that, but you can also get the points for just strength. Another layer after skills is quests, and this really hones down to specific things. I still created some dummy quests here, so very similar to the dummy targets and dummy tasks I did in the in level 1. And by the way, it's super similar, those two, so I will just go very quickly over them. But at the moment we're still at quests, and again we have the user select, where I have my previous quests, again with the user, which you can change up here in the customization, and just general explanation on how all those things are structured. So going back to the master view, maybe one interesting thing here is the birthday view, which we will which allows us to select birthday quests, and they then allow us to generate the birthdays in the tasks automatically. So this is done through the automation here again, but well, it's just as easy as turning it on. I will talk a little bit more about this in detail when we get to the people. Otherwise, the quest is more or less replacing the areas, or just it's a more zoomed in version. So we still have the targets and the side targets, and the tasks and the side tasks, and then the score, which combines all of those together. So when not much else has changed. And here in the targets, just a few changes. We have a start and an end, and some formula to categorize those. So if you want to check them and group here after a time, you can very much do that. Come on, time. There we have time. We have here the February, and it's well, today is the 21st of February. So if today is between the start and the end, you can look at current targets, and it only displays the things that are relevant for you at the moment, which further decreases the clutter that you experience. And again, here you have my targets, but they're still the same, so I'm not going to go into that deeper. Here for tasks, we have the start and the end now, so you can track your time. If, well, let's use today. So if this is 12 and we give it a check, it should exactly display, yes, 12:48. And keep in mind this is industrial time, so it can go up to, so just quick example, if we have 50 here, it will go up to 12.83. That much to that. Still the same thing with the people, the quests, the side quests, and the targets. Not much has changed here. Also frequencies the same. Not much has changed. I just added a few more views, which might be helpful to you or not. Otherwise, you can just delete them by pressing here in the 3 and just delete view if you don't like it. What is new though is the days, and if you are already journaling, you will love this feature. And if not, you might want to start journaling because it is really cool and helpful. especially since you can also track certain metrics. So I decided to track my health, productivity, and happiness on a daily basis. And in the next tool, we'll see how to analyze this data as well. But so far, you can just track it and then look back and see, oh, okay, today, a month ago, I was this healthy and this happy. And in the journal, you can write up what's happened throughout the day and maybe some insights that you had. So all those neat features. And this is also a great example of the grouping, because here we see, okay, this is grouping the year, then the month, and then the week. So we can very quickly jump to the current week. But if you want to have a still quicker way, you can just click on current targets and it will display the relevant weeks for now. So moving on to people, here we have the exact same thing as we have in level 1. The only difference here is this little field. And this allows us to enter the automation. So the birthdays become an automatic task. So this is really cool. Let's just, because we are already in 2021 February, so let's just imagine my birthday was tomorrow. So this would be the 22nd of February. Let's just say the 28th. So here we say, okay, upcoming birthdays, 28th April February 2021. So if we go on automation here and we turn this on, nothing has happened yet, because in addition to having the birthday link here, we also we also need the birthday link here. And if I select any of those, it will create in the task Lucas 23. So this is my current age. You can also switch the formula a little bit so it displays the. So I would be turning 24 technically, or maybe not. Well, like you can play around a little bit with the age formula here, whether you want to have the +1 or not +1. That really is up to you how you want to have it. But yeah, it just allows you to enter birthdays super easily, especially if you just like put all the people in here and it just happens, which is really cool. So you have seen level 1 and level 2, and next would be level 3. Unfortunately, you would need Airtable Premium for that, because it will use the usage of apps and more synchronizing all the bases together. But let me tell you, it's so worth it. Once you know how to use everything, it becomes a much sharper tool and makes you so much more efficient and will save you so much time, because you don't actually have to do those things anymore. They will be just automatized and clearly visualized in a custom fit dashboard just for you. So all those things, as well as linking different bases with like food and finances, is all becoming possible in level 3. And I don't want to talk about it here anymore, so let's just jump straight back into Airtable. And obviously this is my favorite because I've been using this, well, all the time. And it's just so amazing. And first I wanted to, well, a little bit show off, but also just show what's possible more. And here we have my targets from 2020. And as you see here, for example, in January, I just got started. So I didn't accomplish that many things. I read a book and did a class and still started the tracking in Google Sheets, which you see here. But like, it's literally like, or not literally, figuratively, like going back in time and just reliving all those moments. And it's just so gratifying. And um, obviously this is more interesting to me than it is to you, but just imagine if you had done the same, or like you can still do that for the future and then look back on the year 2020 and see, wow, I really made the best out of this year, which essentially is all we can do at the moment. Just make the best out of it. So also very important thing, don't just set like things you have to do, things to learn or stuff, but also set yourself targets for just enjoyment, for leisure. So if you want to play a game or just read some fictional book, um, set it all as targets. At least that's my advice, or at least how I do it, and I've been running very smoothly with that because it just keeps you motivated, you know. And you can also see it as well as a reward. So, for example, if you were to level up, you could say, "Hey, if I level up, I get this new game or a new computer if it's like really big accomplishment." And this can also be a target. So I just wanted to display on that a little bit. And by the way, these gallery view is also available in level 1. Unfortunately, the rest that I will be showing you is like the premium version of Airtable is required. But and also I would suggest you not to get that straight away. First learn the system, and it will be more worth it if you decide it afterwards. Like it's not running away anytime soon, and it just gets better from here on. But another premium feature is in tasks. And here you see the calendar view, which looks a little bit different than previous levels because not only can you just set a date, but you can set a start and an end point. And this is how it displayed. And well, you might say, yes, like every calendar is doing that. What's so special about it? The special thing is it sits still on top of the previous system. So I can click on all those and get access to everything, to all the data, to like the whole hierarchy, you could say. So if I click on dad biking, I get all the information from that. I see it's part of the quest, well, with my dad, and also part of the side quest biking. And it will generate points for each of those accordingly. Also, I know who I did it with, how many points I got from that. I put it as 2 points because, well, it's winter and biking in winter is a little bit more difficult. And also, you can add certain pictures to that and just look at them like that. And it just allows you to relive those moments and see, hey, what did I do on Sunday, the 10th of January? It's a very cool way to just relive those moments. And also, might even be even more valuable than this is to plan in the future. Because if you have a specifically busy month, that sounds wrong, but I'm just gonna go with it. Um, you can also plan in the future and set yourself in a way that you have those time boxes and you outsource the concept of, oh, if you have it all in your mind, you obviously will stress about it. But if you put it in a system, in a calendar, and have it like this, and it also like counts up, for example, I know this is like the 10th time I've been working on the case study, and this is the 11th time, and I actually finished it on the 11th time. And it motivates you as well as takes away the overwhelm, and well, it just helps a whole lot. So I think you can already see the value in that. So really cool feature which I'm just loving about, and I, well, it that's the cool thing about a good software. You don't really need it before, but after you've been using it for a while, you don't really want to go back. Um, Another option like this comes with the apps, and here comes the number. Do you still remember it for a purpose? Well, it will just be displayed here with the score, and here we have 405. I'm actually not sure. I think we had 401. This is a little bit more up to date, so it does update automatically, but only like every half an hour or so, because like why would you have to have it more often? I could update it manually by just clicking here. I'm not going to do that because it's close enough, let's just say it. And here we have this visualization of the data, and we have the total and this here. And don't worry about 12,000, just imagine it. I already explained it's from Kurzgesagt, just a different way to look at the time. But anyways, we can see very clearly on the balance between all the areas where I've been doing well or not so well. And obviously I can fill out the reason why that is the case. And it just allows you to give you so much oversight. And this is just one example of an app that you can just install by, well, it's kind of like the installing an app on your phone. Without the apps on your phone wouldn't be as valuable as it is. So same thing goes for like Airtable. The more apps you have and the better the apps are configured, the more valuable they become. And this is especially the case for the tracking, because here we have a really, really cool thing with tracking your data. So if you're into biohacking or you're tracking your steps or your sleep, this is the perfect thing for you because it is all displayed in those neat little graphs. This is the data from the health, productivity, happiness, which I displayed in level 2. And here it just shows you a running system. And same thing with like when you're familiar with Aura, you know that it tracks your sleep, your readiness and an activity. It's like this ring you just wear, and it generates all this data which can be, well, fused into Airtable and visualized very neatly. Also tracking your weight, your REM time, and general sleep time, and you can really analyze the data. And it's like, oh, okay, here's a spike, January 24th, and you can go deeper as well. So um, it's still not perfect. So for example, if I click here, I'm only getting these data points. But if I click here, for example, let's select January 24th, there we go. I'm also seeing all the tasks that I did on that day and some description for that. So that's pretty neat on just what's possible. And then you can really start analyzing your data. And the longer you do that, the more valuable it becomes. If you are not ready for Airtable Premium yet, you can do that in a different variation. So this is where the data is coming from, and it still looks pretty neat. Like you can do a lot with formulas, and it displays, okay, on the 4th of January I had a bedtime of 7 hours, and like it's not as accurate Aura, especially REM time, but it gives you a rough estimate, and especially when you went to sleep, or like especially the bedtime is quite accurate. So that's already really cool indicator. And here you see the weight and the body fat with the metabolic age. So all those really cool things that you can do, and there's so many more things. And as you see, I have a bunch of other things that are not ready yet. So I'm not wasting your time to present them. And also here I'm working on a meal planner and like obviously the network thingy and like how to do your finances. You can include all of those things in Airtable, which is like that's why I was talking about Lego blocks in the beginning. You can just add and delete whatever you want and really customize it to, well, your individual needs. So that's why I'm so convinced by Airtable, and I'm enjoying everything out of it. And yeah, that was probably one of the biggest projects I've been working on, and I couldn't be prouder, and especially because I will continuously work on that. I did want to let you know that this base was specifically created for my needs, and I was hoping that our needs might have been similar, and it was just the thing that you needed in your life to get some organization or get more time to do the things that you love. But if something felt off, you can always change and tweak the things like Lego pieces, putting things on top or removing things. Nonetheless, I wanted to give out these instructions, so to say, on how I created this house, and level 1 will always be completely free. At the moment, I'm still practicing and trying and tweaking level 2 and level 3. I will probably monetize that eventually, just because people tend to value things more that have a price tag on it, and I do want to get it to as many people as possible, because it changed my life so much, and I just felt it would be an injustice if I had this and wouldn't share it with the world. So this is kind of my contribution that I was able to come up in, well, my time, and I hope you found it productive and helpful. So if you still want to support me already on Patreon, it's down in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you have a good one. Take care, and remember to master your body, train your mind, and love your soul. See you next time.